Sunday. This is our ASP Youth Mission Team worship service. So you're going to get a wonderful message this morning from our young people as you see their witness and you hear their stories of how God worked through them and continues to work through them. So we're thankful to be able to be here this morning. When you came in, you received a bulletin. A couple things I want to highlight for you is if you are a stockholder for our youth mission team, that luncheon is at 11:30 today right after church. So join us in Fellowship Hall. If you are a stockholder, if you didn't RSVP, it's all right because we have made accommodations here at Fred. Also, today at 1 o'clock is the Joliet Slammers game and our church's day in the game. Ken's sitting out there at the table. There are still tickets available. Tickets are $10 each. Those tickets have been donated, so everything that you buy goes towards our building fundraising committee. And so we would appreciate your support this morning for that. And if you can't go, just go ahead and buy a ticket, and we'll be sure to share that with somebody else. But I told you last week that the weather was going to be nice, and it is supposed to be cool this afternoon. So good afternoon at the ballpark this afternoon today. I want to pass around our clipboards. These are for ushers and greeters in the month of August. If you can help us here in worship, making this a hospitable and warm place. And with your friends, we appreciate that. Do you have any other announcements this morning you want to let them? If you have any prayer concerns or prayer request cards in your pew, just be sure you fill that out and just put that prayer card on the inside out, and I'll pick it up during our prayer time this morning. Would you please stand and welcome one another?
To join me in our prayer of invocation? God of love,
your desire is that we grow in you. You urge us to send our roots deep and draw from the life-giving water you provide. Your perfect plan is for your church to be a well-watered garden, a cool and quiet place that nourishes and inspires your soul with your wandering wisdom. A pleasant refuge that exudes the love of Jesus Christ, which is the same, the power of your mercy, where others may sit for a minute and behold the beauty of your kingdom. And when the time comes, help us to submit to your careful tending and bringing that we may bear more fruit for your glory. Amen.
Please be seated. Today we're going to talk about peace, how it is very important to have peace.
What is peace? Anybody know? How do you have it?
I do know what it means, but I don't know how to explain it.
Peace is strong and pacification and calmness.
Like being calm and okay with everything. So, maybe we want to learn another word for peace. Okay. So, the Hebrew word is called shalom.
You guys have shalom in your life.
How do you use peace in your life? Like mine is clean. I like being really organized. Is everybody else that can feel organized? Okay. So we're going to learn another one, and it's going to be sign language. Does anybody know what sign language is?
Yeah, I just another kind of class.
Yeah? Yeah? You know what that is?
It's like it's like talking with your hands.
Yeah, they're gestures.
But I don't know what gestures mean.
So we're going to learn the sign for peace. Okay. So you're going to go like this. Here you can. Then you put another one right on top of it. Then you're going to switch it. So are you going to look first and switch? You got it? And then you're like this. Put it next to that. Ready? One more time. Ready this. Turn your hands. Open them. Perfect. So there, now that you have that sign, whenever you feel like you're missing peace in your life or you need it back, you always have that sign to do it. So if you're ever missing it, you can just do that sign and your peace will come back.
Let us hold our hands in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us peace when we are afraid. Help us have shalom all the time. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Thank you guys.
Holy Spirit.
come forward and to pick a star, or actually the star would choose you. And that star with the word on it was meant to guide you this year. Our worship committee is encouraging us now to have testimonies so that you can hear how that star might be guiding somebody throughout the year. Last month, you heard from Mindy Cribb. On today, I'm introduced to you, Heather Shirky.
Hi, I'm Heather Shirky. This is my 4th ASP trip. My star word for the year is holiness, or is holiness. What does holiness mean? Holiness is a word that can make us feel uneasy. It seems lofty, threatening, alien. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 2 says, "Speak to the congregation of the people of Israel and say to them, 'You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy.'" God was calling his people into relationship with himself, and he wanted his people not only to survive the experience, but to be nourished by it. But for that to happen, they needed to know the ground rules. They needed to come to him on his terms, not theirs. So how were we nourished by our trip this year? To start with, we had to overcome the inevitable that we were all getting sick and there was not a single thing we could do to stop the process. By the time we realized that this was not going to be an isolated incident, the majority of our group had already been exposed to the wonderful stomach virus. As late afternoon Monday approached, our first youth started the process that we will forever call puke apocalypse. Here we were on the side of the road in Kentucky in the mountains with a van full of kids. What do we do? Well, I did what I would have done if it were my own daughter. We got through the situation, got back to town as fast as we could. Now, mind you, our work site was the furthest from the center. It was only 18 miles, but it was a 40-minute drive each way due to the windy roads. So we got back at the center and got her settled in bed, and the process began of just getting these kids through this. I was there to hold their heads, hair, puke buckets, bottles of water, cold towels, clean up messes, and half drag and guide kids back to their beds, only to start the process again about 20 minutes later. I remember bonding with one of our youth about 3 o'clock Tuesday morning, just waiting for this bug to just give her a rest. Next thing I know, Peggy, who was another leader from Maryland, shaking me to get up and go to bed. Now it's almost 4 a.m. and I'm down for the count. Getting back to the room and seeing the hallways of the center are just lined with girls on cots in all various stages of this bug, and everyone has a bucket. It was surreal. This is the stuff you see in TV shows and movies, but not with our kids. Yes, all these kids became our kids. It didn't matter what church they were from, we took care of them all. Talk about a love thy neighbor moment. So why this? Why us? Why? God had other plans for this trip. We were in Kentucky to serve the families of Lawrence County. We did that, but we also stepped back and served each other. We had to deviate from what we planned and what our goals were for this trip. This bug gave us an opportunity to reconnect with our youth and become a family again. During the week, one moment while heading to the work site, I heard a song on the radio, but didn't catch the title. I thought to myself, I'll have to search for that once we get back to the center. Fast forward to Saturday morning as we started our journey home. There's the song again. With the help of Mackenzie and Jake, we found it. It's called Breathe by Johnny Diaz. Talk about a God moment. Here's part of the lyrics. There's got to be something more to this crazy life. I'm hanging on tight to another wild day when it all starts to fall apart. In my heart, I hear you say, breathe, just breathe, come and rest at my feet, and be, just be. Chaos calls, but all you really need is to take it in, fill your lungs, the peace of God that overcomes. Just breathe. Let your weary spirit rest, lay down what's good, and find what's best. Just breathe. So how do we use this experience to nourish one another and grow? Well, we start with walking beside each other in whatever journey they're on without judging them, without making them feel inadequate, without trying to fix them or trying to impact the outcome. We open our hearts, offer unconditional support, and let go of judgment and control. My church is my family, and you all will forever be my kids. Always know I love you, no matter what.
Thank you, Heather, for sharing. If you have a star story, we would like to hear it. The congregation, your brothers and sisters would like to hear it. So I'd like you to be thinking about that in the next few weeks and If it's not Pastor Brad tapping you on the shoulder, please know God's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you have a story to tell. But if you have a star story, why don't you come see me? We'd love for you to schedule you on Sunday morning.
Please join in our social creed. God in the Spirit revealed in Jesus Christ calls us by grace to be renewed in the image of our Creator, that we may be one in divine love for the world. Today is the day God cares for the integrity of creation, wills the healing and wholeness of all life, weeps at the plunder of earth's goodness.
And so shall we.
Today is the day God embraces all hues of humanity, delights in diversity and difference, favors solidarity, transforming strangers into friends.
And so shall we.
Today is the day God cries with the masses of starving people, despises growing disparity between rich and poor, demands justice for workers in the marketplace.
And so shall we.
Today is the day God deploys violence in our homes and streets, rebukes the world's warring madness, humbles the powerful and lifts up the lowly.
And so shall we.
Today is the day God calls for nations and peoples to live in peace, celebrates where justice and mercy embrace, exults where the wolf grazes with the lamb.
And so shall we.
Today is the day God brings good news to the poor, proclaims release to the captives, gives sight to the blind, and sets the oppressed free.
And so shall we. Are there any additional prayer requirements this morning? This morning we have prayers for the families of Diane Mitchell, the Fowlers and the Eagles. Diane used to play piano in our congregation for many years. She passed away this week. And her services will be this week, I believe, in the Joliet area. Is that right? In Joliet. So prayers for Diane Mitchell's family. Also prayers for Bob Fowler's family. Bob's sister passed away this week. And our prayers are with you and for all those connected to your family, Bob. Let's take actually, before we pray, let's sing together this chorus. Loving and gracious God, we gather here in this assembly, in this sanctuary, in this place of community. It's here we find safety. It's here we find confidence. It's here, God, we find hope. When we hear your word spoken to us. God, as we gather here, open our lips that our mouths may proclaim your praise. God, as we walk in here, fill us with the joy and gladness of salvation. God, in this moment, may your glory overcome the burdens of the world and invite us to new life. Oh God, as we open our mouths today, may we sing glory to your holy name. May we offer our worship. Offer our worship to your majesty. For God, your ways are far beyond our understanding. Everything we need comes from your gracious bounty, and nothing are we left in want. But God, we confess to you this morning that often we follow our own ways and we take those things which please us. So God, sometimes we show contempt for your word, or we misunderstand and misuse your word. Personal gain. God, as we gather here, have mercy upon us. According to your steadfast love, God, restore us to joyful living and joyful serving and obedient discipleship. It is your gift. It is your gift that we are called to many ministries. God, you've equipped us as teachers, servers. You've equipped us as speakers, as those who tend outside to creation, those who offer hospitality. God, use all of our gifts for the building up of the body of Christ, your church. God, fill us with your Holy Spirit that our work may be carried out in love for your glory. You've given us the bread of life that we might endure to eternal life. And we know it is your will that all should live. So God, give this same goodness and blessing to all who are in distress. God, for those who are hurting through the pain of loss, bring your comfort. God, we pray that you would feed the needs of body and mind as well as spirit for all who suffer. God, as you give life to all the world, let us go forth to share and to give that same life to all who seek you. Unite us as a congregation, God. Let our youth lead us by their example, by their faith, by their love. As we all seek to follow your Son, Jesus Christ, who taught us to pray together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Worship is complete when we bring all the resources at our disposal to receive God's blessing and fulfill God's purposes. In joyous gratitude, we bring more than money. We bring ourselves as an offering to God. Let us give as He has blessed us, what our ushers wait upon us.
release of your children are led to behold the hope of the gospel. Take our lives and let them be consecrated to obeying what Christ commands. Take our gifts and use them as means of hope to those who hunger and thirst after righteousness. Take our time and fill it with a sense of your abiding spirit, that others may learn of your redeeming grace. Please be seated.
Hi, beloved. I'll be reading the scripture reading today. It's the theme from our Appalachian project this year. It is 1 Samuel 25, verses 2 through 5. There was a certain man named who did his business in the region of Canaan. He was very prosperous, 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. It was a sheep shearing time in Canaan. The man was named Nabal, fool, and Calipite, and his wife was named Abigail. The woman was intelligent, good-living. The man was brutish and needy. David went out in the back country, heard Nabal was shearing sheep, and sent 10 of his young men off with these instructions. Go to him now and approach Nabal. Greet him and remind him, peace, life, and peace to you. Peace to your household, peace to everyone here. This is the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God. Amen.
Be the peace. This year's ASP theme encourages us to seek God's peace where it may be found, within ourselves, within our communities, and within our world. We are agents of peace wherever we go. It is related to 1 Samuel 25, chapter 6, that thus you shall salute him. Peace be to you, and peace be to your house, and peace be to all that you have. Peace is more than the absence of conflict. Shalom is a Jewish salutation used as meeting or parting that means peace. The shalom kind of peace is a sense of well-being, wholeness, prosperity, and tranquility. It is living in harmony with all of humanity, with all of creation. First Samuel, David sent people ahead of him to greet a landowner in the ball. A man not known for his social graces with words of peace and grace. We can offer the same greeting to any person we encounter. Peace be to you. This is how strangers become friends and a welcome community. You are called to share God's peace and to be an agent of peace wherever you are in life and wherever you go. As one who has been called in this way, we challenge you to be at peace.
Hi, my name is Laura Flores, and this was my first year on ASP. Be the Peace, Samuel 25:6. That was the motto for ASP 2019. Before the trip, I didn't really think too much about the meaning of this verse. However, now that I can look back on the past 2 weeks, I've learned that Be the Peace is so much more. It's a buildup of compassion, love, kindness, and hard work. Early in the week, the center had turned into ASP 2019 Puke Apocalypse, and it was bad. Volunteers were going down, left, and right, up and down, you name it. But it was during this time that the center and everyone in it came together as one to support each other. In the following verse, Psalm 30:75, God has a reason for allowing things to happen. We may never understand his wisdom, but we simply have to trust his will. In this case, I believe that although it wasn't under the right circumstances, the Puke Apocalypse allowed us to meet new people and expand our relationships. July 10th came around and the crews were ready to get back to work. My crew, Berry Belt Sander 1, were working on the underpinning and siding of the house of our homeowner, Catherine. Like any project, we had setbacks, but we weren't going to allow those setbacks to be excuses to sit back. We were determined to get as much done as possible. A quote from Darren Roach, God would not give us these obstacles if he didn't think we could not overcome them. Although we were not able to complete the project, we were happy that Catherine and her family now had a safe and stable home. We had loads of fun and tons of laughs, whether it was playing basketball, throwing football, or playing a simple card game. It was the little moments that really made this trip an ASP trip. I also learned very quickly not to fall asleep in the vans, otherwise pictures would be taken, and not pretty good ones. Our goal that week was to construct homes that were going to be warmer, safer, and drier for families in Kentucky, and to be the peace. But it doesn't have to stop when the trip is over. Make Be the Peace a long-term goal, one that you can each be proud of, because one day we will all look back and realize that the little things were the big things. And as I go into my senior year, I hope to take this lesson with me, that no matter the struggle you are in, with God and the help of a local church, you can do anything. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Haley Roche. This is my second year, and my team was called Apricot Allen Range. My team consisted of Eric Kodak, Mackenzie Smith, Bobby Markley, Eric Grossman, Anna Sherkey, Katie Boylan, Natalie Rochelle, and myself. The theme for ASP 2019 was Be the Peace, and I realized that I didn't end up finding my peace or my happiness. I found peace in every little project that we completed, whether that little project was cutting a piece of wood, nailing something together, painting, using blackjack tar, or laying roofing materials. We all laughed and smiled, and we were proud of each other. We started our work week with a couple of projects for our homeowner, Greg and his wife. Bobby and I managed to get up on the roof safely with the assistance of some boards that we had to use between the beams of wood on the roof so that we would not fall through. Eric Rossman assisted with our roof repair as well, while everyone else worked on shoring up a bay window and header at the end of the trailer that was beginning to fail. We did have a few delays in the work week between illnesses that prevented us working 2 days or the rain that limited what we could work on, as well as missing or broken supplies. But as the week progressed, we got everything done that we could, and I think that what we accomplished during the week made the house warmer, safer, and drier, not to mention more stable. The week did not go according to our plan, with over 78% of our group coming down with an illness, which forced us to lose 2 days on our work site, while most other groups only lost 1 day of work. Every group there was affected by the illness, but it did not stop any of them from pushing through until the very end. When we finally came back to work on our site on Thursday, we wanted to get hard at work and finish something. Of course, the weather did not want to agree with us, and it started to thunderstorm. While most people would call it quits, we switched gears and started another project of putting primer on laminate wood. That way next week's groups would use it to repair the damaged ceilings at home. We poked fun at Bobby's painting techniques and made the most out of the time that we had during the week to do everything that we could to help the group or prepare for other groups. This year was definitely a year to remember. Even though we had our ups and downs, we fought through it all the way to the end, and stuck together as one whole family. Normally I tend to get nervous going on this trip, but realizing that I love this church and I love the people that go on this trip, I knew this was going to be a great trip. On this trip, I made bonds that I never thought I would have made on this trip. I grew closer with Hannah and Diamond, and I got to spend more time with Natalie, and I made greater bonds with the church. I love my group from the bottom of my heart, and even though there are times we got mad at each other, we still cared for one another, just like family. As a group, we had times we had to struggle, like Mackenzie being afraid of butterflies, and us having a lot of them on site, or Katie being afraid of cars flying by on the roadway just feet away from us. And when I say a lot of cars, I mean a lot of cars. Bobby's painting techniques, Kodak's bad dad jokes, Anna's good dad jokes, Rossman's food habits before every work day, or when I always have food no matter what time of the day it is. It was those little things like that that made us grow closer, find our peace, help others, and overall make the day and the week better.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mackenzie Coleman. This is my third year serving on the Appalachian Service Project. And 2 weeks ago, on July 6th, we packed our clothes, our mattress and work boots, loaded up the vans, and traveled to Louisa, Kentucky. This year's trip had much more in store for us than we thought, but I'll get to that later. As we made our way home on Saturday, we stopped for our lunch picnic and the traditional end of the week debriefing. One of the questions we were asked was, what did this week mean to you? I answered being with everyone, bonding, and just spending time with each other. Looking back on what I said at that moment, I definitely would change my answer, or at least elaborating on what I said. Of course, that week was about bonding to each other and serving together. But this year I realized what we were actually doing, how we were being the church. Of course, churches are meant for worshiping and sharing God's love, but so are car rides, coffee shops, conversations with friends and strangers, and in our case, working in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains. A while ago, I read something about not letting your faith being confined by a building because we will never change anything or spread His love by just going to church. We need to be the church. We need to do more than just attend church on Sunday mornings. We need to be the ones who say, hey, I'll go. I'll go and show His love. I'll go and be His hands and feet. I'll go, send me. And that's exactly what we did. We packed our bags, filled up the classrooms of a small Kentucky elementary school, met some pretty awesome people, formed unforgettable relationships with their house families, repaired their homes, and then said goodbye, which is one of the hardest parts. We did all that, and I couldn't be more proud to say that I was a part of such a wonderful group of people. As you may know, we are officially renamed ASP 2019 to ASP Puke Apocalypse 2019, and for good reason. But I want to take a second to talk about our adult leaders. These wonderful human beings stayed up with us literally all night to take care of us, not worrying about themselves getting sick, but putting us first, and continue to check up on us all week. They treated us like we were our own children. We were their own children. Even the leaders from other churches stepped up to take care of everyone who was sick, and then just to get sick themselves. I mean, it takes a special type of person to hold the hair of a stranger whose face is shoved in the garbage can. They seriously deserve all the love and appreciation we can give them. If you've ever been on Brad's crew on ASP, you know he's notorious for giving life lessons on the worksite almost every day. This year, during one of our group meetings, he said something that I don't really know if he meant to be a lesson to us, but it really stuck with me. He said, there's nothing like a local church. I think that statement couldn't be any truer. The community, the love, the support, and the family that has been built within this church is like no other. No matter what's going on outside, we can always count on these Sunday mornings and each other to be able to forget everything that's stressing us and bringing us down and just be here in this space, this safe and judgment-free space with each other. Or if we need to talk about these stressors, we know that there's always a pair of ears ready to listen. There's nothing like that connection. There's nothing like being able to feel that love and support from even just one person, not to mention a church full of people. And we definitely proved that to each other during our trip. During our trip, we made so many connections, shared so many laughs, and made so many memories together. Each and every one of us has built some sort of relationship with one another during ASP. Even if that changes during school, we know that we will always have each other as a church family, and that is so, so important. To everyone who has supported this trip by buying stocks, wishing us luck, or praying for our safety, thank you for making this trip possible. We truly do appreciate it. And to my ASP family, thank you for the memories, and I can't wait to serve God and do it all again with you next year.
We invite you to follow us responsibly in the Living Ed Challenge. On any day, somewhere in the world, food is being harvested.
The seasons change, night becomes day, with gentle sun to warm the soil, rain falls to nourish the seed, life springs from what appears to be nothingness.
On any day, somewhere in the world, people are cold, wet, and unsafe in the dwelling that they call home.
Sometimes the need is met by caring people who have the time, resources, and desire. Sometimes the need goes unnoticed, even before our very eyes.
On any day, somewhere in the world, a child cries from hunger.
Sometimes the cry will be quickly stopped by loving hands passing out food and drink. At other times, in other places, the cry goes unheard. Sometimes the cry is heard with despair.
On any day, somewhere in the world, people read of that despair.
Human hands become the hands of God. Human toil aids the sun and rain. The earth has yielded its increase. God has blessed it. Now it is our turn. Hold on just a moment. Hold on. Before we sing that, go ahead, Liz.
God calls us all to mission and ministry. We invite you to find your part in God's call. Our closing hymn is Here I Am, Lord. Please stand and join
anyone who's been on an ASP trip to come join us down front. Larry, you're one of them. Anybody else who's been on mission with us, let's come join us down front. Eric, come on. We can sing the song without the words. We're good. Come on down. If you would, if you get connected across the aisles, hold the hand of the person next to you. If you're so comfortable, you're not comfortable to stop hurting one another, just sit here.
True.
about the church. Will you gather us in to be your people? Before we go into the world and to serve, to love, until we come back together again. So God, hold us and bless us and move us forward. In Jesus' name we gather here, and in His name we go. And let God's people say, Amen.